Hey, what's up everybody? Bro Trio here, and for this rant and rave, we are really coming in under the wire. We just did a hype train right before Tears of the Kingdom comes out, and here we are again to do one quick little video right before it comes out. We're each going to talk about 3 enemies we really hope return in Tears of the Kingdom. So we'll see if we can be right about these, but we think we have some pretty interesting ideas. So I'm going to kick things off, because mine is all one category that we really did not have in Breath of the Wild, and that is aquatic enemies. Like, we had Octoroks and Lizalfos, but most of them were pretty close to the shore and everything. Nothing like real deep in the water or the big lakes. So I think we could put some enemies out there. Like, you know, it would incentivize or almost require you to use the fuse ability to build like a raft or a boat to cover a vast amount of water. Because in Breath of the Wild, you could just eat a bunch of stamina shrooms and then you're good to go. You could swim across the ocean if you wanted, as long as you had the food to do it. But if there's enemies, there really wasn't that much water combat, which there might be in this, but you would have to build like a cannon raft or something, at least a raft to shoot off of. But if you could put cannons on it, I'm gonna put cannons on it. But the first one is, and these are all from Wind Waker, so get ready for that. It's my favorite one. It's the most aquatic Zelda. Of course, I'm gonna talk about it. The biggest would be the Gjorg Sharks, because they are the bane of your existence in Wind Waker. You cruise along, have a good time, and then the music turns sinister. And oh, there's a shark fin swimming next to you. They jump out of the water and slam down on you, teeth first. Like, they would be really interesting to see, like, less cartoonified in Wind Waker, because we really haven't ever had them in a big, like, semi-realistic one, like Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword or anything. We've only seen the sharks in Wind Waker. And that would be cool to see them. Another thing that would be cool to see a little bit more, like, adultified would be the damn sea hats from Wind Waker, because they were scary there. Just a big-ass mouth flying at you with propeller sounds of a helicopter. Those would be very horrifying in Tears of the Kingdom. And then, literally, the biggest one, the big Octos from Wind Waker. I think these work just like in Wind Waker, where it's just a few overworld bosses, but in the biggest lakes available. Like, obviously, Lake Hylia is huge. It could have 2 of them. Ooh, actually, yeah, 2 right next to each other. Double boss fight, and one's pink, one's blue, and they're in love, and they're ready to kill you. And that would be awesome. But if you also got, like, some rewards for killing them, that would be cool. And just, I really think it would just be so cool to build, like, a makeshift King of Red Lions with a cannon and take on a big-ass Octo in the Lake Hylia in Tears of the Kingdom. Or even in Lake Skylia in the Sky Islands or something. I don't know. Falling down a waterfall on a makeshift boat fighting an octopus? That would be awesome.
A little while back, I was coming up with a list of what enemies have been in what Zeldas, because I was just curious, and there was one that I came up that really struck me as odd. We have never seen a rope in a 3D Zelda. The closest we got was one of the Wind Waker sequels. I can't remember which one. I think Phantom Hourglass. But a little low-to-the-ground enemy that can sneak up on you, that sounds awesome to fight. Because you can't just swing your sword, you have to do something special for it. And you throw in a lot of the stuff like the classic, like, Link to the Past stuff, where you pull the wrong switch and a bunch of snakes rain down from the ceiling. That's horrifying. Can you imagine that in 3D? Oh my god. You'd have to just hope you can do a spin attack and stuff and get out of there, or a couple of bombs or something. And another one that, it's really a 2-pack. Because we didn't have a whole lot of flying enemies. It looks like we're going to have a lot more. But Mothula would be a really cool, like, overworld mini-boss type of enemy, because, you know, you're just cruising around, it's dark, you don't see any keys clouds coming up, and you think you're safe. and then you just hear something like roar and come out of the trees, and it's a giant ass moth. That would be so cool. And it drops off its little morths, which is one of my favorite enemies, and I don't know why I did this. But in Wind Waker, if they were in a dungeon, I would get one on me and just keep it. Because one doesn't really slow you down that much. A lot do. And that would also be an interesting thing to see in Tears of the Kingdom. Where you're just walking around, but you're slow, and you're like, oh man, there's a thing on my back, or something like, well, you can see Link's back, but whatever. But yeah, the little spiky balls crawling all over you was just a really cool thing, and I don't know why that enemy has only been in 2 games, and the other one is Triforce Heroes, of all things.
The enemies I would like to see return in Tears of the Kingdom go as follows. I would like to see the pose. I miss those little guys. I like the Ocarina and Majora's Mask pose better than the Twilight Princess pose. I want to see those guys again. Even the Twilight Princess pose, I would take it. I just like ghosts, and I want to kill a bunch of ghosts. I want to see the Dongos again. I like dinosaurs, and if dinosaurs explode on death, hell yeah. The Dongos are really some of my favorite enemies. I've always liked the Dongos because, I mean, like, at very beginning games, you're fighting like a Triceratops, and then it just like gradually they evolved into just like kind of big lizards. But the third one, and the one I want to see the most, would be Darknuts, and I would prefer them to be like the Darknuts in Twilight Princess, because after you beat him up enough, armor comes off, and now it's like now he's fast, and you have second phase. Like, normal enemies normally don't get a second phase, but Darknuts do, and it's awesome. And I really like the Yiga people. Kinda was like, they didn't replace Darknuts, but it was kind of like, well, at least you have like a sword duel with somebody. But it's like, no, I want Darknuts. Darknuts are awesome, and I'd really like to just fuse a sword to like a rat or something and just go to town on him with it.